This is a broken Android phone, no back panel, basically unusable. Honestly, I was just going to throw it away. But then I thought, wait, can I actually turn this into something useful? So I tried something weird. And yeah, this is what happened. That's a full Linux desktop running on the phone. And the first time I saw this, it didn't even feel real. I mean, this thing was basically dead. And now it's running a desktop environment. So naturally, I had to test it properly. Not just open apps, but actually try to use it like a real computer. First, coding. Because if this can't handle real work, it's useless. So I opened VS Code and loaded a project I've actually been working on. Not a demo, a real one. It's a medical report analyzer, built using Python, Flask, and the Gemini API. You drop in a report, and it processes everything. Test results, abnormal values, and streams it back in real time. And yeah, this entire thing is running on the phone, and I was expecting this to lag a lot, but it's actually usable. Not perfect, but usable. Then I tried something else, AI coding. I installed Claude Code, and this is where I expected things to break, but surprisingly, it works almost like a normal PC. You can write code, get suggestions like you normally would. Again, not super fast, but completely usable. Next, browsing. And this is where most setups usually fail. So I opened Firefox and started loading actual websites. Not lightweight ones, real ones. This is pixels, lots of high-resolution images, some even 4K, and I was expecting stutters here. But it handles it surprisingly well. Scrolling is fine, images load properly, it doesn't freeze. Now video playback? Yeah, this is where things start to struggle. I tried 4K YouTube, and it doesn't really hold up, especially with multiple apps open. But if you drop it down to normal resolution, it's actually fine. So again, not perfect, but usable. Then I pushed multitasking, and this surprised me the most. VS Code open, browser with multiple tabs, terminal running, settings, everything at once. And it still doesn't fall apart. It slows down a bit, but it keeps going, which is honestly crazy for a phone like this. And keep in mind, this is a 2017 device, Samsung Galaxy S8, just 4 GB of RAM. If this works here, modern phones would handle this way better. File access is also really clean. I can open Android storage, move files into Linux, and back again. No weird limitations. It just works. And the terminal, this is where it actually feels like Linux. Installing tools, running servers, managing files, everything behaves like a real system. You're not emulating anything here. It's just Linux running on a phone. Now, is this a replacement for a real computer? No, it's slower. There are limitations, and you feel them. But for something that was basically useless, this is way more capable than it has any right to be. So how is this actually working? At a basic level, Android already runs on a Linux kernel, so instead of replacing it, we're just running a full Linux environment on top of it. In my case, I'm using Termux to create that environment, and then adding a desktop interface on top, like XFCE. So it's not emulation, it's just using the same system in a different way. For the setup, I'm using a Samsung S8. It supports display output, so I can connect it directly to a monitor using a USB to HDMI adapter. That's why it feels like a proper desktop. Now, if your phone doesn't support display output, you still have options. You can use something like a Raspberry Pi to mirror your phone to a monitor, but at that point, you're basically just using the Pi as a middle device. And honestly, modern phones are already powerful enough that you don't really need that extra hardware. Now for installation, I'll keep this quick. First, install Termux and Termux X11. Make sure you use the F-Droid version of Termux. Open Termux, give it storage permission, and update all packages. Then you just run my setup script. It handles everything. Installs the desktop environment, sets up the tools, and gets the system ready. During setup, you can choose your desktop environment. If your device is powerful, you can try heavier ones. But for most phones, XFCE is the safest option. The installation takes some time and a decent amount of storage. So just let it run. Once it's done, you just run the start script. Open Termux X11 in the background, and that's it. Within a few seconds, you're inside a full Linux desktop. It's not perfect, but the fact that this works at all, on a phone like this, is kind of insane.